welcome to another amazing episode of the Roundtable Podcast. I'm your host, Dimitri.
It's your boy Mark Mal.
Hey, okay. We are with the more recent, or not even recent, past the recent appearances of like more live actions that are like Disney and now was it DreamWorks?
Look, I'm just say it. He trying to be nice. I'm gonna just say it. We here because of Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon. Not in
Okay, yeah.
particular to review those movies, but we're here to address the issue about live action adaptations of animated films.
Yeah, exactly.
There it is.
That does it. Because I was gonna go in
fatigue of it.
Yeah,
because it's become a thing, like a
because
thing.
it is become a thing. This is not Disney's first rodeo. They've been doing this for the last
it's almost been 10 years.
I was about to say decade. And
because they did Beauty and the Beast, that was like 2018 or something like that. 26. I can't remember.
It was early.
It's been a
minute. Yeah. And I think I've always been like on the fence about Disney's live action or animated to live action thing since the beginning, because like you're taking a thing that was already animated and has a whole story out there, and most times, for the most part, they don't change anything. They don't do a different interpretation. They don't really change the source material, which I guess that's the selling point. Is like, hey, remember that thing you watched when you were a kid? Here's a live action version of it. Yeah, we're gonna repackage it to you and give it right back out to you 30 years later. You like the Lilo and Stitch? Here's a worse version of it, because I haven't seen Lilo and Stitch, so
but I have not
I'm taking what I heard on the internet, and I'm taking reviews from people, and
it's not good.
It's not good. I think what made me not want to go see it was the fact they took out some characters and they started changing things with the story and this, that, the other. And then Stitch just, I don't know, it's just something about him just is off to me. I don't, like, me personally, like when I see him on the screen, I'm just like, that's a computer generated character that's computer generated again. That's the same thing with Toothless. I love How to Train Your Dragon. That's my favorite DreamWorks thing.
But Toothless just with real people.
Yeah, it's just pretty much like you took a computer generated character, because dragons, spoiler alert, aren't real. So you took a computer generated thing.
So people finna come after you, boy.
And you made it more computer generated, which is crazy.
Hey, I just want y'all to know that's solely his opinion. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't want the dragon people coming for me.
Listen, I love Toothless. Toothless is probably in my top 5 dragons, okay? Like, I love that series.
Even though he's right. But yeah.
It tore me not to go. It really tore me when I saw it, because I was like, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, How to Train Your Dragon, more of that. And then I thought it was like, oh, we're going to do 1-to-1 with the first one. And I'm like,
I thought we was going to get like a badass version of Toothless that was going to look like something from Game of Thrones.
Right.
I thought it was going to be like, oh, like they did with the Lion King. I was like, oh, they're going to give us like some, like,
they're going to make them like real. And I guess the thing is,
but it's for kids.
Yeah, for kids, and that's fine. Yeah. It's like, you like How to Train Your Dragon and you like all these Disney things. That's fine. You spend your money how you want to. That's not my concern. This is my opinion. But I don't have any problem with. It's not even a problem with the cast. I think the cast is fine. Like when I saw,
oh no, the cast is great.
All the cast, even Astrid, which people had a problem with, I had no problem with. I was like, fine, because little did people know, like, being a Viking is an occupation, not a racial thing.
It's not a racial.
It don't matter. It ain't that deep. That's a little side tangent. But I think my problem, and I think maybe I already said it, but I think my problem is just, if you're gonna do these things, if you're gonna go and do these things and take something you've already done and live action it, do something different. Like, you could have made a How to Train Your Dragon, let's say the next one, and did it just live action or something like that.
Yeah,
continue the story in
like a follow up. Yeah,
a follow up or an alternate wasn't, or even go into some of the other people in the world that we like a villain origin, like they did with Maleficent, like where they did one of the
yeah.
main villains and they went and they
See,
like
that
did that.
works. That
That
goes to what
increased the lore. You know?
that actually goes into what I was just gonna ask. I
Okay.
was it's like a question statement. So what my thing is with the live action, we're not saying that overall adapting stuff into live action movies is a bad thing because there's been some stuff that's come out, shows and movies that have done great.
Yeah.
It's almost to the point the writing, or is it's just something that just doesn't work. It's one of those things where it was done in animation for a reason because realistic
Hmm.
it doesn't click. Like for
Yeah.
something like Lilo and Stitch, it's really one of those things that should stick to like being animated because yeah, it's been movies about aliens and humans, but it's that it's the tone of it. Like it's a
Yeah.
comedy and it's supposed to be over the top. Like I've always said that like the over the top stuff should stay in the realm of where it is in animation. The things that they adapt in the live action, I think that works the best is stuff that's more like reality or more grounded. Even if they haven't done good, I'll give an example. Like with animes, a lot of animes can be adapted in the live action because a lot of them can work as a real life thing.
Yeah.
And then you have something like One Piece where you're taking a big risk because it's like over the top with a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but it worked because of the people behind it. And then that's another thing. It's who you have in the writers' room, who's producing it, who's directing it, who has the knowledge of what it is. And it's like it's become this thing where it's like not everybody wants to do it. Cause just the other day I see something saying Michael B. Jordan wants
I
to do a
saw
live
that.
action
Yeah, you
anime.
want to do a live action
So
anime.
it's like now this is a thing, and it's to the point where for us it's okay. We loved it as what it was as a child, and we don't need to see it live action. But then you have the other side of it where it's a whole generation that don't know about this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's, you can see they're doing it for this generation. Excuse me, but at the same time, it's like, why can't y'all just like re-release this in the movies and see how the new generation react to it before you just
Exactly.
like they already talking about doing the Up live action,
I saw that.
and that movie ain't even been out 20 years, and it's like all the younger
Listen.
kids have seen Up because Up
Hmm.
came at a time when it was going into a digital age, a social media age. You got Disney Plus, so it's one of the more popular movies on Disney Plus. Like most of the Pixar stuff is still brand new, and it's like, why y'all trying to go to these spaces and do this? And even with the anime, it's okay. Certain animes that's just not gonna work. Like you see what happened with like Cowboy Bebop. That's a big world. You see what happened when they tried to do the Dragon Ball Z movie. Like certain stuff, it's just if you're gonna. My thing is if you're gonna do it, don't take away from the source material. Just what you were saying, like with Lilo and Stitch. Don't take things out that's very vital to the
Yep.
story. Like you're gonna make a Dragon Ball Z movie, but you took everything that's vital to that story and you took it away. And I think that's what the main problem of what we have with it because and that's why I call it fatigue because it's yeah we'll get four good ones out of a good 50 that are
Yeah.
out. Not saying that's a like actual number, but just an example. Like you just feel like okay, like when does it stop? Like when does it go stop?
I know when it stops. You know when it stops. We both know when it stops. I'll say it out loud for everybody
Go
else,
ahead,
but it
say
stops
it
when people stop going to go see them things. Like when they can't make no
exactly.
more money off them. Because here's the thing: they put that Lilo Stitch movie, live action movie out there because they knew people like us were going to go out there and drove to it. Honestly, Disney at this point in
Nostalgia.
time, when it comes to
They're banking,
live action and stuff like that, they're like, man, f those kids, man. We
man.
doing it for the 30-year-old, 30 plus year old people who went to see these when they were kids, man. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah,
And what
and
makes
it's
it suck is because like you do it for that community, right? And you strip it of everything that it like that getting back to the getting back to my toothless point, makes a lot of sense. You
Yeah.
think you overanalyze it, or you make it whatever. You do like your whole little, oh, we're gonna change it up or whatever. We're gonna do something different, and then you just don't do anything really different. Like you just, or I'm sorry, you do something different, but you do it in a way that takes away from the sauce.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I'll say this and I'll let you go.
Uh-huh.
Why? And from what I know, for who I haven't seen it, why is Nani leaving Hawaii to go for marine biology?
Oh wow. See, I didn't know
Why?
that. I didn't see that
That's
either.
what the big gripe is about it. That's what I've seen from the review. Is like she left Hawaii, which has a great, from what I know, has a great, obviously has a great marine life because it's an island. But somewhere that isn't like that. If you're gonna make her leave for a reason, it makes more sense to like the story.
Yeah.
Sure, you guys want her to leave Lilo, and this is what from what I've heard from the reviews. I'm not gonna go see it. That's just my thing. But from everything I've seen, it's not as good as the original, and I think that's
Yeah.
another thing that these live actions fall short of the original. They don't stand up to those same things. They're not
Yeah,
on the same
like
level.
you making something that has to live up to a good movie. We ain't talking about this is not okay. This is not taking Howard the Duck, a movie that flopped terribly. And it's not like you making a newer version of that to live up to that. Of course, it's gonna be better than that because it was a bad movie.
Yeah,
Every movie they're choosing are classics that did well in the theaters. You know that a lot of people seen, that's very familiar with. It's a pop culture thing, so it's automatically gonna be compared to that off rip. So you're
yeah,
already putting yourself in that position, which is gonna be tough. So you can't get upset with people when they do make these videos. They took out this, and it's not like this because you're saying that this is a live action remake of
yeah.
the classic Disney story. They've been putting that stamp on all of these movies since they started doing them, and it's and the thing that gets me is they it's like they don't know what they want to do and they have a formula that they can actually do. You said it, and I thought about it. They did it. They made the Mufasa movie, right?
Yep.
Which is a prequel to the Lion King story. Just like you said, if you want to do something, make something that is not the remake or it has something to do with the story or another character. Because we got that movie, we learned about Scar, origin, how him and Mufasa technically became brothers. They weren't actually like blood related. That's important stuff that for
Mm-hmm.
years we've thought about. Okay, what was their relationship? Why has it gotten to this point? But you, even though it was live action, you gave it to us.
Yep.
It got us wondering. Okay, that's what it was. Lilo and Stitch could have did the same thing. You could have told Stitch's story or where he came from or the society like something like that. You could have
Yeah.
told what happened way before he got to Earth, and that with that point that could have been live action, but most of the characters would have been like Stitch because it would have been the aliens and stuff. Boom, there you go. Now we have a story where oh, we can go and watch Lilo and Stitch after this, and this is why Stitch was run. I think that's the solution to
Yep.
the Disney problem. Now, is it for the other stuff? I really think more so like when it comes to like anime and even cartoons, I think they're more experimental than it is like adaptation because they're trying to see if they can make it work. Like with Scooby Doo, it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
hey, let's see if we can do live action Scooby Doo, but let's modernize it and do it for this generation. It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna make it the '60s, which would actually be cool. That
It'd
would
have
have
been
been cool.
dope. Here's
That
the
would have been
thing.
cool. Now that I think about it, that would have
Here's
been
the thing.
cool as hell.
Scooby Doo live action depiction. Those two early 2000 live action like Scooby Doo movies are probably better than a lot of what we've got
It
now live
is,
action.
and
To be
that's the
frank,
thing.
them
It's
movies
like
hold up.
they hold up because it stuck to the source material and the premise of what Scooby Doo is, but it did something different. It didn't do a
Yeah.
shot for shot remake of an episode from 1960 when it first came out. It took those same ideas of what those characters are, and it did a totally new story, a different story. Like for a lot of people, that was their Scooby Doo, that
Mhm.
they grew up on. That was Scooby Doo for them. So it's like you don't have to do like remake. Even like you said this to me, because it was my for me One Piece. That was my One Piece because I didn't watch the anime. But you
Yeah.
told me, it was like, hey, they took this out, but they put this, and it still stays on course with the whole idea of what One Piece is. They made it work. That's what you do if you want to make it successful. And going backtracking to Disney, dude, like, y'all literally can take, and we talked about this before when we did the actual Disney live action podcast.
But you check
You
that
have
out.
movies. Yes, we'll put the link in the description below. And yes, that was a shameless plug. We don't care. We don't care. That's what we do here.
Hey,
That's what we do. We the
hey,
shameless plug promotional crew. But
yes.
going back to the point, you have a movie. I could give you three movies. That's always gonna come up, but three movies that Disney has in the tank, in the box that they could let out. And all of these are cult classics and very successful now with audiences, but did not do good when they came out. Atlantis, Treasure Island,
Treasure
and
Planet.
Treasure Planet, and The
Yeah.
Hunchback of Notre Dame. Dang.
Yeah.
Three movies that I guarantee you, if you made them live action, you would sell out theaters because the fans have been asking for that. People
Yeah.
have like Reddit feeds of like their dream cast of those movies. Like it's a thing, and it's almost like we keep getting stuff that we don't want. We like these movies as what they were. We don't need to see the story again. If we got kids, we just show them the movie that we watch. But for something like Treasure Island, a lot of people don't know about those movies. They weren't successful box office wise. So it's a cult. That's why it's called a cult classic because it's a certain demographic and group that loves that movie. Is if you give this to everybody, it's almost like it's a fresh, like brand. It'll seem like it's a brand new idea because people don't know about it. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
give us the stuff that technically flopped. Give us those because then you have a chance to where the comparison can be even because it's
Yeah.
okay. This is something that didn't do so well, so here it is and here it is. It's not like oh, this was the greatest movie ever, and here's the remake in live action. Like,
Yeah.
don't set the bar so high, and that's how they shoot themselves in the foot every time. They set the bar's already set so high, and you're taking that and trying to compare it with the other thing. Like it's not. It's gonna always be set up for failure, even if the movie is good. It's set up for failure before it even hits the theater, like automatically.
It is. I got a question.
What's up?
Do you think that there is ever going to be a live action depiction of something animated that will either be on equal terms or rival the animated property, or do you think animation is just always going to be like top tier and always better than the live action like version of it?
So, like, do you say no? I think it's gonna be a one that's gonna be better than
Do you
the
think there's
anime
ever
version.
gonna be ever like just in general? Do you think that there's ever going to be like a live action that's like better or on top tier with the animated, or do you think animation in general is just a better medium and will always be the better medium?
I think it can be because I say it like this: it's almost the same with comic book movies, right?
Yeah.
Even though a comic book doesn't move or talk, it's a it's an animated thing, but it's just through paper. It's 2D. It's 2D. It's a 2D property. And when it's turned into live action, there's so many stories that you can do whatever with it. But at the same time, some of the changes that were made almost made the stories better. For instance, I know I always bring up this character, but hey, he the GOAT. Blade literally made them change the origin story of the character. So
True.
So going back to what you were saying, I think it's a possibility that it can happen. It's just the timing of it and how they execute it. Because the timing, the time that like the years they choosing between these films are not that long. Like even 30 years is not a long time.
No.
And it's like you still don't give it time to breathe and be classical. Like things like Snow White and Cinderella and all that, those movies have gotten to that point where it's okay, it's time for the revamp. And then those are not just, if we're gonna be honest, those are not like Disney stories. Those are like public domain fairy tale stories. So anybody can make it.
Those are grim
So
tales.
yeah, like Grim Tales. So it's almost that gray area. But when it comes to the actual Disney stories that kind of came like a fresh idea from them, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
an adaptation of some or they got the idea from somewhere, it's still like a fresh story. When it comes to those movies, it's bro, just let them be and leave that to be. Just let it be.
Yeah.
And I honestly think when it like cartoons and anime will probably always do better. I think those will do better. Because even though it's been like hit or miss, it's almost like the misses are like, I see why I missed. But at the same time, you I know you can attest to this. It's some cartoon movies that were like misses, but you still watch the live action version because it was funny and it was that bad. It still had that same kind of feel to it. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's just Disney with Disney, they set the bar so high. Even DreamWorks, they are known for their animated films. So you set
Yeah.
a high bar that you set. So it's that's just really the bottom line with anime. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't watch anime, so they don't know. Like a lot of people don't know that Ghost in the Shell was an anime. Some people thought that was a whole new idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can get away with that, even if it does bad. As a lot of people didn't know about it anyway. We just throw that in the can. And even with like cartoon animation, I'll give you a great example of
Okay.
cartoon animation. Transformers. Completely different from the cartoons
Oh,
because
100%. Yeah.
because humans were more involved in the movies than they were in the, it was like one human in the cartoon.
Like
And
what?
that was a big change. But Michael Bay, he made it work. Now, did he get carried away a little bit after the first two movies? Yes.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
the first one was like a perfect adaptation of something that was literally created because of a toy line. And he made it into $1 billion movie. So that's an example of something. The bar is not set high. It's a toy line. So it's hey, I can either bust or be a legend. Like it could be a bust
Yeah.
or this could be like legendary, which it did end up being.
Even
Teenage
like
Turtles.
I was gonna say GI Joe too.
G perfect. G.I. Joe.
GI
Toy.
Joe.
Another toy line. Turned into a cartoon, then done as a movie, to the fact that now it's finna be done again because it didn't do so
Mhm.
well the first time. But with
Yeah.
stuff like that, you can do that because the bar was never set high. It's not like these cartoons that we're naming, they are in that cult classic, Thundercats, stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
it's cult classic because it's something that was around for just a decade or probably a year or something, and it just faded away. Disney, your movies are legendary. It's a reason you have a thing called the vault. Like when people have a vault, that means they have good movies. Like another movie they got that they could put out live action. I forget the actual name of it, but it's King Arthur something. But the
Oh, the Black
movie that
Cauldron.
movie,
Is
like
it Black Cauldron?
no, not but it wasn't Black Cauldron. But Black
Sorry.
Cauldron could be one too
Yeah.
because that was considered a flop. It's dude, I can't remember the name of that darn movie.
Hey,
But all I know,
I
go
can tell
ahead.
you underrated. I was thinking because you were talking about live actions that didn't do too well. I was
Yeah,
thinking about a live action you do when you brought it up. It brought up Speed Racer. Speed Racer is good.
Speed Racer is underrated.
It
Yeah,
is so good.
that's
Like,
underrated.
I remember
I remember
burning
watching
my
it.
DVD out watching that thing because it was just really good.
Yeah, I remember that. That is another underrated one. Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah,
also, DreamWorks don't really have anything that's their bar for animation is so like high that How to Train Your Dragon was like the easiest one they
yeah.
could
Because
do.
everything else is too out of like this world to do. Like you can't do a live action straight.
You can't do a live action. You can do a live action Puss in Boots, but it ain't gonna be that
It ain't
good.
gonna be
Like
the same. What
you
else
can't.
they got? Did they do Madagascar? Or was
Yeah,
theirs I
no,
they did
that was.
Madagascar and
I think
Ice
that was
Age, right?
Yeah, DreamWorks did Madagascar. Yeah, I'm gonna put money on that. Yeah,
And they did Ice Age too, right?
I want to say they did. Yeah, let me check, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure
So it's, like you said, I'm just saying that to your point. Like they can't really
they
they
can't
can't
really
really
touch
dip and
much.
dab into live action as much as Disney can because they got a little more fairy tale like stories, I would say, when it comes to
They
live
really,
action.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's the Sword and Stone. That's the movie.
Sword in the Stone, and DreamWorks did do Ice Age,
Okay, cool.
but it's
I
Sword in the
thought they
Stone.
did.
But yeah, Disney, Pixar, not Pixar. Don't do nothing Pixar. Oh, Pixar, yeah, because Up. Yeah,
It's too late. It's
yeah.
happening now.
But when I remember seeing that, like on that, because I have a tangent a little bit. I remember seeing that and sitting into the group chat, and I was just like, "Don't do it." Like I know Harrison Ford likes checks, money. He'll probably slide in and do his best.
Yeah. Just
His
because you
best old
got him
man.
under contract don't mean you gotta use them like that.
Also, you look Up is a classic. You
And
don't
that's
want to
near
do.
and dear to our
You don't want
hearts.
to do that. Like it's such a classic that they better never do a sequel. Like it's in its
Yeah.
own like
And that's
thing.
it. I'm telling you
Like you,
now, if that movie flops, it's gonna I'm saying it right here, right now, it's gonna end the live action thing. Cause people no like seriously, cause people really hold up like in a
true.
special place for a lot of people and they don't play about that movie.
No.
So if you mess that up, they gonna come. They coming for Disney. Like you think the Lilo and Stitch stuff is bad?
Oh, they will
Mess
come for
mess
you.
that one up and make it Indiana Jones with a talking dog and a Boy Scout. Go do that and see what happens.
Man. Oh my gosh. Cause I'm thinking, man, I think I know the worst live action in general. Cause when you said Indiana Jones, it sparked Uncharted. That Neuron went to Uncharted, and that
Oh
that
yeah,
live action is probably my least favorite.
yeah.
I don't like Dragon Ball Z Evolution because of
I was
being a fan
Dragon
of
Ball
it,
Z Evolution
but
still gonna be the worst
I
one.
at least went to go see it.
Yeah,
Uncharted, I said I ain't touching that. I ain't putting no money to that.
I watched 20 minutes of that movie and cut it off immediately.
I remember you telling me that. I was like, see, you did better than me because I already knew going in. I was like, I'm not touching
Yeah,
that. I saw the trailers. I'm like, one, that's two, that's the third game there. And I'm like,
yeah.
ugh.
It's
But no,
it's just this is my final thing I'm gonna say. Honestly, I just think the live action trend is getting overwhelming, and at some point it really does have to stop because it
yeah.
gives you too much freedom to roam with stuff and do things. Because next thing they'll be talking about making a live action Adventure Time or Ed and Eddie or Samurai Jack.
Don't give them ideas, man.
I'm
Listen,
just saying because that's what happens. It's they did it, so let's do it here. And it's honestly, I am okay with having fan films on YouTube that I can go watch. That's 20 minutes, and I don't have to pay for it. And I can either say, "Oh, that
fair,
was good or bad," and move on with my life. But
right?
you're making stuff that's finna be around forever because it's movies. Movies last forever. The fact that we can go watch some from a film from the 1800s where it's just a train going across the tracks tells you that movies don't go anywhere. So this is stuff we
No,
have to live with forever.
like
So I'm
y'all,
just saying it gotta stop at some point or it has to slow down because right now it feels like it's on a steamroll. Like every year. The fact that Disney came out with a whole lineup of live action movies they're doing is like crazy, and it's just
Hey, look,
the locomotive is just the steam is just it's not even like slowing down, bro. It's crazy. Like it has to slow down at some point because it's
it
getting
won't
very
slow
overwhelming.
down until they don't make no
They don't.
money.
Yep. Yeah,
If
you right
they in
about
they
that.
bag, and I guarantee you, this Stitch and this DreamWorks, How to Train Your Dragon, made both them companies
Oh, it
phenomenally
did.
rich. They
It did.
rich.
Because the thing is, people don't understand. They might say, "Oh, I didn't like it," but you still went to see it, so you could go talk about why you don't like it. So they still made their
Right?
money.
Still made their money because people went to go see it with by themselves, probably with their kids, probably went to see it multiple times because that's a new thing now. Is like people go see a movie like 3 or 4 times, which is fine. Like you spend your money, but to my point is Disney raked in money based on nostalgia for people that are big. What's the word? They're Disney adults is what I think the term is. Disney adults and I guess DreamWorks adults at this point in time.
Yeah.
Which there's no shade to that. Like I'm an anime person. I'm not here to cast no stones, but I think they targeted the right audience. And that's my whole point is they know that they put these nostalgic movies out to get the money because they know they gotta fund every other project they're gonna put out that they might not do well on. Because they put animated projects out, but they don't market them. And that's a whole other podcast, honestly. I'm not trying to go on a
Yeah.
tangent here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's yeah. But let me stop because I'm starting to
I will say this. I will say this, and then I'm done. Just so y'all know, they have a scapegoat. They have a plan if all fails. I've seen it multiple times. They talk about, oh yeah, Disney is considering going back to hand drawn animation. I bet you are. I bet you are.
I bet that's about to
Cause
happen.
you see the fate that is coming for you. So I bet you are. I bet you are. And that's all I'm gonna say. The fact that's a thing floating out there lets me know that somebody at Disney knows, oh man, this shit ain't gonna keep working. So we might have to go back to what made us money. Which you should
Here's
have
the
never
thing.
which you should have never left from in the first place.
No. Like you should have if you want to do live action, that's fine. Do whatever you want with your whatever. But also put out some banger amount of animation on top of that. You're Disney, man. You can do whatever you want. Honestly, people will buy it. People will go and go see a live action and then immediately go see an animated property. Especially because Disney is Disney.
Yep.
You gotta say all you gotta do is put out a trailer and people will come to it and say,
Man,
I'm
give
gonna
me
go see that.
instead of Disney, instead of live action, give us back the Disney original movies. Give us those. Do a new Disney original theater release. Like y'all used to do when y'all had a Disney channel and not Disney Plus. Somebody said
That
that the other day
I
and it was
remember
Disney
seeing that,
Channel
yeah.
and not Plus. Give us that. I'll take that. But just stop it. Stop
So with that being said, Marcus says stop the live action. You heard it here first.
it. Stop. Just like that Michael Jordan meme. Stop. Just stop. Get some help. Yeah, get
And,
some help, Disney. And
and on that note,
when I say get some help, that means go get animators, bring them back. That's your help. But go ahead, D. I'm done.
and on that PSA note, you have anything else further to add? Because I'm good. I've said everything.
Nah,
I've said my piece all over
I'm
now in this
good.
podcast. All right,
I'm good.
cool. So you know what time it is?
It is time for a story long time ago from two young fellows on a journey to the greatest podcast of all time. But the only way they can get there is a thing called the Shameless Promotional.
Ooh, that was
So
nice. I
see
love
that? See
that.
my
Yeah,
Disney,
yeah,
my Disney
yeah.
once upon a time. Hey,
You
hey.
did it. Hey, hey. And if you want to check out this podcast, you can check out this podcast on YouTube and you can check out this podcast on Spreaker. Hit the like underneath the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification on the right side of the video so you get notified of our future videos because we make quite a few videos and they're all great. You should check them out. They're all down there. Follow us on our social medias, our Instagram, never X, and we have a Reddit, and we have also a Discord. So find us there. at the Square Roundtable Pod. And I think that's it. I think I've done my spill for the day. So with that being said, I'm your host, Dimitri.
I'm your host, Marcus, aka Marky Mark, aka Marlo Zoo.
And this has been the Square Roundtable Podcast. We are out. Peace.
Long night. Good night, people. And
Long
good morning
night.
to those who see it in the morning.
Exactly.